Hey, my name is Jeff Page, and welcome to Inland Surfer corporate office here on Lake Sammamish in Bellevue, Washington. Yes, this is where it all started. We started in this office in 2000, the late fall, and we started designing boards. 14 years later, here we are, one of the top leading independent manufacturers out there in the wake surf industry. I started Inland Surfer primarily to introduce surfing to the inland marketplace for people that would dream about going on surf vacations, but yet they couldn't get there all the time. And they had a boat and they had a waterway, so we started surfing. We started surfing probably way back in junior high school behind my dad's boat, and one thing led to another, and all of a sudden one day I saw a place in the market where I thought wake skating and wakeboarding was kind of dropping, and we said, well, it's time to start this company.
My name is Mark SHER. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at Inland Surfer, and I've been with the company since the first board was handmade by Jeff. The early industry response to wake surfing was very questionable. I think that a lot of the folks in the industry kind of took a step back and weren't sure if this is something that they wanted to be involved in. But we were committed, you know, at Inland Surfer. This was our thing and we knew it was going to be big.
So back in the day, you know, I had this great marketing idea that I was going to send one green room to every president of every tournament boat company out there. I followed up with phone calls, and you know, back then we didn't have email or any of this, you know, new communication, so it was all by phone or whatever. I reached out to a couple boat companies and they weren't interested, and lo and behold, I got a hold of Centurion, and Rick Lee and Tim Lopes were in the office unwrapping one of the boards I sent them. And they were just totally in awe that someone was thinking exactly the way they were thinking about going forward in the sport of wake surfing.
I think it was in 2000 he started building surfboards and catering to the wake surfing side of things, which was a small growing sport. Then 10 years ago we joined forces, and that was an easy decision because he had the guts to step forward. And at that point in time, all the other boat companies, all the other board manufacturers were sort of poo-pooing this sport and thinking that it wasn't exactly what it has turned into. And Jeff was one of the few guys that saw the potential.
My first exposure to Centurion Boats was at the World Wake Surfing Tournament that they held in Merced, and that was pulled behind an avalanche. And it was really mine and many of our first exposures to a legitimate competition size wake surf wake. And it just opened our eyes to the possibilities. There was so much we wanted to do with that. And there was no way that we could go home and keep riding behind our 21-foot direct drive ski boats. So placed an order for an avalanche for the next summer, and they said, you know what, we've got something that we think you're gonna like. It's called an Enzo. You can't see it yet, but just trust us, it's gonna be awesome. And so sight unseen, the order changed to an Enzo, and in 04, a brand new gray and white Enzo showed up, probably the first one in the state of Washington, and we were just blown away.
And it basically changed the whole game of how we looked at wake surfing and how big the wave was.
Jeff has been a fertile test bed for us. He'll take a boat and go run it all summer long and give us feedback constantly as far as what he thinks about what's working and what's not. And he's been a great partner in helping drive the technology forward. There's Lance, who's involved with Inland Surfer as well, who is the premier driver. He is the #1 in the world best wake surf driver there is. And his input, as well as Jeff's company, has been a key element of us pursuing bigger and better and stronger and better shaped waves. Those guys are just, they're invaluable to us.
One of the biggest positives with the Enzo boats are that they are a wake surf designed boat first that you can wakeboard on. It's not vice versa. And this boat performs so much better than the other boats in the market because that's what they had in mind first, designing this boat. Let's build a great wake surf boat. And as a driver of the World Wake Surfing competitions, it makes my job so much easier. I don't have to stress about dumping the bow. I don't have to stress about, just doing everything perfectly just to clean up the wake slightly. I have the adjustability with the touch of a button to knock the wake over for a rider, to stand it up and put a lip on it for another rider. And with that kind of adjustability, it makes my job behind the wheel so much easier.
And each time we each come out with something, it seemed to enhance things to a new level. And we'd build a bigger wave, then he'd build a better board, then we'd build another bigger wave, then he'd build another better board. To take it to the point now where in the last 5 years, all of the other board manufacturers, boat manufacturers, the entire industry has gone through a significant paradigm shift to validate wake surfing and bring it into the limelight that it deserves.
I've been with Centurion for 14 years. 10 years of that has been with Inland Surfer. The good thing with Inland is that they help us with R&D, they help with our dealers as far as weighting boats, and it's been more of a family than a partnership. Lance is one of our drivers for the World Wake Surf Championship for many, many years. Jeff Page and I talk all the time about how to work better with the boats, the waves, how to make a precision wave, and our dealers carry their product, so it's more of a family than a partnership.
Fast forward 10 years later, and 18 Enzos between a couple of us. There was the 230s and the 240s and the 244s, and now we're just taking delivery of our brand new FX44. And just like we were blown away by the Avalanche and then every step in the evolution of these boats, we're completely floored by not only the size of the wake that the FX44 gives us, but now it's just really infinite adjustability on both sides of the boat.
The athletes have the responsibility to ride both the boats and the boards, and they're the direct feedback to help us make better products on both sides. So it doesn't matter if you're testing a new arch bar, higher kick pad, or a brand new technology like the CAT system. I mean, this is the best field test technology you can have when you have someone passionate about both the boards and the boats riding every day.
I started riding for Inland Surfer at the age of 11 and started riding for Centurion Boats at the age of 13. I'm lucky enough to be in a position to wake surf pretty much on a daily basis, which has allowed me to be super in tune with my board and the wave that I'm riding it on. And that's allowed me to provide feedback on just the smallest details that can make a really big difference in both the wave and in the boards. And it's really helped me with both my board designs and providing some good feedback to Centurion to make the wave bigger and better, and that's always the goal, so that's what we're doing.
One great thing about having these two companies together is the collaboration that goes on in between them. With the collaboration between the two, we can help develop the best boats as well as the best boards. And when Surfer wants to know which boat is made best for the best wake, and vice versa, which wake works better for the best boards. So with collaboration between team riders on both teams and friends on both sides, we can help develop and progress the sport beyond belief. And being 10 years together, now we're #1 in both industries, and it's just going to keep growing and getting better and better.
What I see for the future for those two brands is probably further than what I can imagine, because already in the last 6-7 years, the progress from the waves, the boats, to now is unbelievable. It's two different things. When I started to learn and what I got to work on right now, I think I would have progressed way quicker if I would have those tools 6 years ago. One day we'll have a barrel, or yeah, I'm not sure where it's gonna go, but it's gonna get better, that's for sure.
It's been wild to be part of something with 10 years of coverage. To see where we are now, I mean, these waves beyond these Centurion Enzos, 3.5 feet tall, 22 feet long, and that's a factory weight. That's before anyone goes pro on it. So it's really cool to see what's happened in 10 years. People are riding 4, 5, 4-foot boards, short boards. I mean, the traditional longboard is seen only in contests or grassroots events for having fun. I can't even imagine what another 10 years are gonna bring us.
I would want people to know that the people who work at Inland Surfer care deeply about this sport. And we care because we love it. This is what we do. We spend our summers wake surfing. We drive in competitions, and we judge, and we have opinions, and we care. And we just want people to experience what we experienced. And there's nothing better than watching someone wake surf for their first time and drop that rope. And you see that smile on their face, and you can just see how thrilled they are to be riding behind this boat with no rope, being propelled. And the smile doesn't go away for weeks. And it's so validating to be part of something that puts that kind of smile on someone's face.
We all have this connection. We all have this sport that we love. We all have this activity that we love to go out and do and have the freedom to be in the elements, to be on the water, to hang out with our friends. And for me, I get to come to work every day and live and breathe in this environment, and it's pretty cool. You know, I have a lot of gratitude for that and a lot of big thanks to Mark and Jeff and Andrew who introduced me to these guys. It's really incredible, and it's special. It's something that's pretty cool and means a lot.
I'd like to thank Jeff for his vision, his tenacity, and his enthusiasm and his energy driving this sport forward. It's been a great 10 years, and we're looking forward to 10 more years. And I think he's been through 19 of our boats, and we'd like him to go through about 19 more at least over the next 10 years and help us take this thing where it's going, which is right to the top. Thanks a lot, Jeff.